A lot of games have shops where you can buy stats enhancing items or maybe even weapons, but some items that you would be able to buy are too overpowered to have the player be able to buy in the beginning of the game. So what I did to fix that is I made it possible for myself to choose which items I want the player to be able to buy in that specific shop. This should work, but I'm not completely sure because I haven't added enough items to test this. But I'm sure that I'll be able to make it work. Because I'm not smart. Now let's talk about the two items that I did add. The most obvious item is the healing item. When you have one or more of those, you can see it in the HUD, and you will see how many of them you have. To use the item, you just have to hold Q for a bit, and then it gives you one heart back. I didn't want to make it instant because then it would be overpowered, so I just made the player have to wait a while. Having to wait a bit might force the player to give it a little bit more thought of when they use the healing item. The second item that I added is the guitar strings. Using this item will temporarily increase the damage each guitar does. It only lasts a few throws. When you use the strings, a counter will appear in the HUD which indicates how many throws you have left until the extra damage goes away. I really like how these two items work. I might have to change a few things about them, but they are good for now. I really like them. Now for something completely different. The intro to games are probably the most important part of the entire game because everyone who will play your game will get to the intro. If the intro isn't interesting enough, the player might not play the game more than a few minutes. And no one wants it, right? So what I did is give the game some character in the beginning. Make the player understand who they are playing as and their current environment. There's no text at all before you can start moving. You're just dropped into the game. The bedroom of the person you are playing at. If the player wants to, they can interact with basically everything around them and get to know everything that there is to know. I always love when games do this. It gives the world, even if it's only a really tiny bit, it gives it character. You walk through basically the entire house, and when you leave, your partner talks to you. I want to clarify, yes, the partner is non-binary. So what they talk about is your concert that you have to go to. The player character might be a bit anxious about this concert, telling the player, not directly, that the character has some sort of mental problems. And they say that this concert is the last concert before they are moving. That last bit is there to tell the player that the world will be bigger after the first concert. I loved making every bit of this intro. I had a blast making all the art and especially writing all those little things about everything in the house. Please tell me what you think of it, what you have seen so far at least. When the player leaves their home, they are put into the place I already talked about last episode. This time there are things that kind of explain how the player has to move around, what the controls are. As a tutorial, of course. I also made sure that the control prompts are changeable during gameplay, so if the player starts using a controller that switches, or when they are using a controller it shows up, and the other way around. I also did some polishing to the level design and the mechanics. The main thing that I added is patches on the ground to make it less boring to look at, and also to indicate the paths the player should go to progress in the game. This will probably help some people to find their way to the end in games like this. Okay, before I head off, I've already started with the second half of the demo and I wanted to show you a little bit what I've made. So I will show you 3 obstacles that I made. First of all, the cannon. This thing shoots a ball into the air, and when it slams back down, on the ground, if you are in the blast radius, when it lands, you will get a full heart of damage, but it's quite easy to avoid, so don't worry. The second thing is an energy wall. This wall blocks the path that you would want to go to, and to get past it you will need to break the corners. I really like that. Last but not least, the spinner. This thing shoots fire and slowly spins around. Yeah, that's basically it. I really love this one. It just looks so fucking cool. It looks just so cool. Yeah, I'm also planning on adding small laser puzzles to break up the pace from time to time, so you don't have to move all the time, that you can slow down and think about what you're doing more. I know this video was a bit shorter than usual, but because most stuff I did was boring, polishing, and making people playtest the game, and more polishing, I didn't have much to show. Anyway, I'm hoping to release the demo before the end of the year, but I'm not sure if I'm able to do that. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this devlog. If you did, I will kindly ask you to like and subscribe. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, hopefully. Bye!